Hello, agents. Welcome to the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by PkmnTrainerJ. Ingress Insights aims to give you the latest news and updates about the Niantic Spatial game Ingress. Whether you're a veteran agent who has recursed 17 times or a brand new agent working to level 8, wondering what a fracker is, this is your place for the latest Ingress news and discussions. 2026 sees Ingress renewed under Niantic Spatial and many new campaigns to engage agents. So, plenty to discuss. Share any thoughts by checking our social media links. Now, over to Ada.
Additional intel available.
Hello, agents. Welcome to episode 159 of the Ingress Insights podcast. In this week's episode, we're going over the Q3 Apollo event schedule, some of the campaigns going on, and what Niantic Spatial have to say about their scans recently. Firstly, for Anomaly news, we are still in the Orion Anomaly series, and that ends on the 20th of June weekend with the final Anomaly battles in Geneva, Switzerland and Lima, Peru. So that's your final chance to get out there and get the Anomaly medal for it. There's still some campaigns going on where you'll be able to get some more Orion points, and you've got your daily tasks until the end of June as well. I recently hit gold on my Orion Anomaly season badge, so I got over 15,000 Orion tokens and managed to get that. I won't be able to get the platinum one, but I've not attended any events, so I think I've done pretty well to be able to get that. So Orion will be wrapping up soon, and we have the Q3 event scheduled to go through, which, as I mentioned before, is called Apollo for this Anomaly season. So I'll read through that because the Ingress team have shared those details. The upcoming Apollo Anomaly season, running from July to September, offers agents multiple opportunities to earn medals. So the Apollo season medal is back to being 3-tiered. So that's awarded based on participation in Ingress First Saturday events, performance in global campaigns, anomaly battles, and other dispatch operations. The commemorative Apollo on-site medal, which is 1 tier, and that's earned simply by participating in any anomaly battle on-site. And then there's the global campaign medal, which is 3 tiers, bronze, silver, gold, based solely on performance during the global campaign. Further instructions and detailed intelligence for each operation will be provided close to the execution dates. Stay alert. For July, we start off with a new campaign on the 3rd of July, 6 p.m. UTC to the 27th of July, 6 p.m. UTC. No further details, just saying stay prepared for new directives. The 4th of July brings us first Saturday, so there you can attend an event in person and meet up with your faction. The first Saturday organisers have confirmed that you will be able to earn Apollo season tokens during the first Saturday events in Q3, but the ETO EN campaigns will no longer be given out at first Saturdays for at least this quarter. That is followed up on the 12th of July by second Sunday from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. local time, where you completing one of the second Sunday campaign items to get your second Sunday medal up by 1 count, whether that's scans or missions or doing something else entirely on there. Just doing one of those 4 will get you a tick. Doing more than that won't get you double tick, so you only need to actually do 1. The 18th of July brings our first Apollo XM Anomaly. So there's one in Helsinki in Finland and Bogota in Colombia. Then moving into August, the first Saturday is the very first day of the month, 1st of August. And again, registering to Fev Games on there, attending an event in person, getting double AP during the day anyway. The 5th of August, from 6 p.m. UTC to the 31st of August, 6 p.m. UTC, brings us a new campaign that we've not got any more details on as yet. Then overlapping with that, from the 7th of August, 6 p.m. UTC to the 17th of August, 6 p.m. UTC, it's Level 8 week. Again, no further details. I would assume you'll be able to purchase the Resistance, Enlightened, and Machina Level 8 badges in the store again. The 9th of August brings us second Sunday, again, 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. local time. So it looks like the first 10 days or so of August are pretty stacked with Ingress events. Then the 22nd of August is the XM Anomaly in Seoul, South Korea, and Paris, France. And then we end August with a final global campaign from the 26th of August, 6 p.m. UTC, to the 16th of September, 6 p.m. UTC. And that one is the Apollo Global Campaign, for which you can earn one of the 3 tiered medals on there, depending on how you do. September kicks off with first Saturday on the 5th of September. And then we've got the Autumn Equinox 2026 event from the 10th of September, 6 p.m. UTC, to the 29th of September, 6 p.m. UTC. 13th of September brings us second Sunday, so going from, again, 12 a.m. local time to 11:59 p.m. local time. Then the final event we've got in so far for Q3 is the last XM Anomaly. That is in Singapore and Denver in the USA. We also have some details for Q4. So, interestingly, at the moment, there are no anomalies in Q4. NIA research has detected XM signals indicating shard storms on the following 2026 Q4 dates. So, on the 17th of October 2026, the 24th of October 2026, and the 21st of November 2026. So a shard storm is something the team can do remotely, not something they need to be there on the ground and have as much control over for an XM anomaly, because there's only really one set of events going on with the shard storms. There's not all the other things like the van and other campaigns and various bits going on like Go Rook. It is worth noting for recent events, things like Go Rook and Operation Clearfield, which are normally main draws and main things and earn season points, have been cancelled, some due to lack of participation. So whether we're getting shard storms instead of anomalies, because it's easier for the Ingress team to do, and how that'll count going forward for whatever the Q4 season is called, we don't know yet. But no anomalies in Q4. Outside of that big chunky lot of information, it's worth noting today is second Sunday, so make sure you're uploading your scans or doing your missions, however you're earning that badge. And then we do have a few campaigns going on, so the Peridot one is running until the end of the month. We've recently had the Summer Solstice and the Premium Dark Star event, that those are going on still. And the Farthest Day Premium campaign is also started. Both of the premium campaigns, Dark Star and Farthest Day, cost 15,000 CMU each, so you'll be able to pick those up from the store and participate. If you're not participating yet, you can always see how your progress is doing, and you could instantly claim it and then claim the badge straight away, because it will count what you're doing now, even though you haven't brought the premium campaign. Alongside the Farthest Day one, there is a Susanna Moya 2015 medal in the store for 30,800 CMU, and that gets you the medal and 5 very rare portal shields. Maybe it's not worth it, but maybe you've missed out on getting a badge back over 10 years ago and you want to get that badge now, and you can pick it from the store. On campaigns as well, there was an issue with the Nemesis Redux Umbra and the Nemesis Redux Courier campaigns ending early. The Ingress team put out a message on social media to say we're extending Nemesis Redux Umbra and Nemesis Redux Courier Premium campaign end times to Monday, June 15th, 6 p.m. UTC. Agents who previously purchased these campaigns but did not fully complete them should see them in your scanner app now. Additionally, we plan to grant 6 Apex to verified first Saturday participants in the APAC region, whose events were affected by the 3-hour delay in AAP on Saturday, June the 6th. Thank you for your patience. We've worked to resolve these issues. So if you were an APAC and went to the first Saturday event, you'll get some Apex back to make up for the AAP not working. And if you'd purchased one or two of the premium campaigns, you'll see those now reappearing in your scanner, and you've got until June 15th to complete them, so plenty of extra time there, and I believe it will save you progress from where you were before. So if you were just about to get the silver medal, you'll still be on your way to getting silver. That is about it for anomaly news and general Ingress news, because I've had the Q3 schedule drop in that I've gone through. So I'll move in now to a quick ad break and then on to some other Niantic Spatial news. Hello, agents. Hope you're happily hacking away whilst I interrupt this podcast. I want to talk for a second about the TeePublic store that I run for Ingress Insights, which is over at teepublic.com/user/ingress-insights. I have been putting up quite a lot of new designs lately, which you can get on socks, shirts, mugs, tote bags, to name just a few things. So for May, I've added quite a few designs on there. Some have sold already. So there's one which is a Kinetic Capsules shirt, showing an image of 2 Kinetic Capsules saying, I don't want to be outside, but these kinetic capsules aren't going to walk themselves, which I've seen already sell. One with a quantum capsule on with like a blurring on it to show that echoes still remain of the quantum capsule. There's also one featuring a hypercube, which I was watching a certain film and then thought of it on there. It says phenomenal cosmic power ETBT cube for the hypercube. And then the final two new ones that I've uploaded this month is one with a heatsink saying, why would you only hack a portal once? And then finally one saying only keys, showing the speed glyph on there, because obviously you only get keys with that speed glyph. Anytime new items get added to TeePublic store, they are discounted for 2 days. So you can get them, for example, instead of £19, it's £13 for a shirt. Again, there's discounts on whatever you're getting on there for those 2 days because it's a brand new design. So I would ask that you just check it out from time to time. If there's a design that grabs you on there, or if you think there's something that is changing on design, do let me know. Finally, I'm trying to increase the visibility of the podcast on Apple Podcasts. So if you do listen on that service and you have a few moments spare, I would appreciate if you rate it and then leave me any feedback on there. That's it for this advert. I'll let you get back to your regular scheduled podcast now. This week, there were several news stories that came out about how Niantic Spatial is using scan data, mostly from Pokemon GO, because the articles didn't mention Ingress. Normally, we wouldn't hear from Niantic Spatial on this, but they did respond back to these comments, and IGN put up an article saying, no, Pokemon GO data isn't being used to train military drones, Niantic Spatial insists. So Tom Phillips for IGN wrote, the denial follows the publication of a report by Dutch outlet True, which examined a recently announced partnership between Niantic Spatial and Vantor, an intelligence company with links to the defense sector. I've covered before on the podcast about the things they're doing with the Department of War and defense, things like that. Niantic and Vantor are working together on technology that could allow people and vehicles, including ground-based machines such as bomb disposal robots or aerial systems such as drones, to be able to pinpoint their location even in areas without reliable GPS, because they were using VPS. This would allow such vehicles to operate in a remote location without a signal or in a situation where a signal could be jammed. The article from the Dutch outlet alleged that this would be made possible by using 30 billion pieces of location data obtained from Pokemon Go players, and that while they were knowingly using their phone to capture a view of their surroundings, they were also unknowingly contributing to military technology. First, you think it's a game you're playing, and then suddenly your data can be used in a war, reads one eye-catching quote from the article. But this is untrue, Niantic Spatial insisted. While we have an agreement with Vantor announced last December, it's still in its very early stages, and sharing this data is not part of the agreement, a spokesperson for the company told IGN. We are committed to working with all our customers and partners to ensure Niantic Spatial products are used in a responsible manner that upholds human rights and ethical principles. So what is Niantic Spatial up to? A spokesperson described the partnership's aim as building a system capable of allowing a sensor to determine its position in the real world, to ensure that a machine or people can share coordinates in real time, even without GPS signal. But while this visual positioning system was trained in part on voluntary ground scans, the underlying data is not shared with Vantor. Ground scans were one component to help train Niantic Spatial's real-world foundation models, AI systems that learn to recognize and interpret physical spaces, as spokesperson explained. The models are a product of that training, not a copy or a means of accessing the underlying scans, which were public points of interest such as statues and fountains. Niantic Spatial recently announced a similar partnership with a delivery robot company, which is seeking to operate in dense urban environments where GPS data can be interrupted by high-rise buildings. Meanwhile, Vantor's website suggests airborne capabilities separate to Niantic's involvement, which is for ground-based use only. Other elements of the article also bear some explanation. When questioned about the supposed 30 billion location scans that Niantic Spatial holds, IGN was able to ascertain this figure relates to scans from various Niantic games, including the company's original title Ingress, which formed the basis for Pokemon GO's location map, and counts the hundreds of individual frames in each uploaded video separately. Additionally, it's worth noting location scanning within Pokemon GO is always an optional side activity that only a fraction of its player base ever indulged in. This feature was also removed completely this month following last year's sale of the company's gaming portfolio to Saudi-owned Monopoly Go publisher Scopely. Now, as part of Scopely, Pokemon Go data is not shared with Niantic Spatial, a spokesperson said. AR scans collected through Pokemon Go were submitted voluntarily by players who opted into the feature and were subject to the applicable terms of service and privacy policy at the time. the discontinuation of AR scanning and the end of data sharing with Niantic Spatial were part of the transition planning associated with Pokemon GO's move to Scopely. So just interesting because there's been a lot of chatter about how they're using the scans, especially from Pokemon GO players, where their scans were being used to train the drones and everything. But Niantic Spatial said that they aren't and that it's not part of that agreement. But then there's a few underlying things in the article that don't quite line up. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to share it because it was interesting reading things, what people thought about the scans. And obviously, we've had Overclock Go, so people probably aren't scanning quite as much now because it's just the Fracker and Battle Beacon to get on that. I do scan still for Second Sunday myself. I've probably forgotten this time around, but I usually try and get them done so I've got an easy thing. I can just click upload when it's Second Sunday. But I'm not going out there trying to scan things a lot because there's no overclock, there's no massive benefit to it now for me. That's all I've got for this week, folks. So thank you very much again for listening. Next week, we'll be back to look at the Apollo things in more detail because probably get a bit more of a proper schedule published up for what's happening at the Anomalies there, maybe some words on the Shardstorm. Thank you again for listening. Have a great Sunday and happy hacking. Thank you, agents, for listening to the latest episode of the Ingress Insights podcast. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can do that in a couple of ways. So the easiest way to support the podcast is via Patreon. So you can find it at patreon.com/Ingress Insights. And there's a free tier, a $1 a month tier, whatever that is in your local currency, and a $5 a month tier. You can check out what benefits those come with on the Patreon. One other thing you can do that's totally free that helps out a lot is rating the podcast on your podcast service of choice. So where you can leave a rating or leave comments, that always helps increase visibility. And then finally, you can follow us on various social media channels. We use most of them, but the best one to follow us on now is Blue Sky. So that's just ingressinsights.bsky.social. Search for Ingress Insights on Blue Sky, you'll find us on there. Finally, sharing the podcast with friends, family, other agents who want to listen and get updates really helps out and helps get interviews with various Ingress people or other game-related people to then increase visibility more. So anything you can do from those is great. Thanks again for listening, agents. Have a great day.
Intel package transferred.